Close partner with Swimlane. Thank you, Swimlane, for inviting us to speak in your booth. Love our partnership because as we were working together on this story, it was interesting to see how much our products really do align in terms of the problem we solve, how we solve it, our approach to that problem. And it's all about modernizing the SOC. It's all about helping our customers build cyber resilience to new and emerging attacks that are surfacing in the environment. So, if you haven't heard of Vectra before, Vectra AI has been around for over a decade. We're based out of San Jose, California. We're a global company, 600 employees in over 20 countries. And we're known in the market as a detection and response platform. Incidentally, yesterday, we announced our new Vectra AI Platform, which is really rooted in what I'm going to talk about today, and the partnership and the integration that we have with Swimlane. We have 35 patents in threat detection and response. We cover over 90% of MITRE attack techniques. And more importantly, we have over 12 patents in MITRE defend countermeasures. So we get threat detection, and with partners like Swimlane, we're working on how do we deliver intelligent response to our customers. So I always like to start off with the problem that we solve, and we call this the defender's dilemma. Vectra's been talking about this vicious spiral of war and security that's been happening over the course of the last 12, 18, 36, arguably years. And you're going to see a lot of this throughout the show, I'm sure, throughout Black Hat. More attack surface. Look around and see how many companies are talking about attack surface. What we call the hybrid attacker. We have a saying at Vectra that the enterprise will be hybrid forever. We argue so are attackers. So attackers are progressing between on-premise, data center, cloud, applications, data, et cetera, et cetera. So the attack surface is constantly expanding, therefore the volume and variety of attacks across that expanded attack surface is increasing. There's just simply more evasive, emerging types of attackers. They're clever. Figure out ways to get in, figure out ways how to move laterally, progress inside the organization. We typically try to write detection rules to catch them, maintain those rules in the SIM and what have you. It creates more complexity, creates more maintenance, creates more cost. And at the end of the day, just creates more analyst burnout, workload, sadly enough turnover in the marketplace. So how do we attempt to break this spiral, we call the spiral of war, through the eyes of the SOC analyst? Now, interestingly enough, this was not planned, both Vectra and Swimlane released research that in the last week, couple weeks, that if you ask me, fundamentally says that the way we do threat detection and response today, the traditional approaches to it, is fundamentally broken. In our research, we found that analysts can handle about 33% of the alerts that they receive. 83% of them are flat out ignored, or are false positives. 67% are ignored. Of the ones they do look at, 83% are false positives. This one's interesting because nearly every single analyst worries about this all the time. Am I going to miss something? Am I going to miss something because it's buried in a sea of alerts? In our research, we found that they get on average 4,500 alerts a day. We're looking at a third of them, 83% of them are false positives. I'm worried about missing something every single day. And then they flat out admit, yeah, we're probably already compromised. We just don't know about it yet. Attacker is already inside our organization. We just don't know about it yet. And Swimlane's research kind of echoes this. We saw a lot of the similar voice of analysts and a disconnect with security executives, where they found that 36% believe that all alerts are handled. 36% of analysts. 52% of analysts think they don't have the skills to keep up with modern attacks. And 1/3 of orgs feel they'll never be fully staffed. So we need to, these are all symptoms of this, or results and reactions to this vicious spiral more that Vectra AI talks about in market. So little bit about, so that's a problem set. So now I want to talk a little bit about, okay, why do customers come to Vectra in the first place? Why do they come to Swimlane in the first place? And what we found is that in our conversations with customers, that their attack signal is largely siloed and hidden. We've got alerts coming from EDR technology. We have alerts coming from network or NDR technology. Alerts coming from identity, et cetera, et cetera. And hybrid attackers don't think about attack surfaces in silos. They think and see and act as if there's one giant, emerging, evolving, expanding attack surface that they have access to. Stitching this all together, stitching this signal together in a SIM is very, very challenging, and we all know this. We all know how challenging it can be to stitch threat detections and alerts together in a SIM. So our approach, our approach to it is to integrate SIM. So with Vectra AI, the attack signal is integrated and highly visible. So across the attack surfaces, we're taking signal from public cloud, SaaS, identity, network, integrating with the endpoint of your choice, wrapping MDR services around that, and what we're ultimately trying to deliver to the market is this integrated signal at speed and scale. Imagine if you were able to move at the speed of the attacker. Imagine if you had a completely integrated signal of all attacker activity across these attack surfaces, and it was already pre-stitched together and integrated for you. Let me give you an example of this. This is a real-world attack. We call it a hybrid attack, and I want to give you a semblance of what happened over the course of this attack. So, at 521, a attacker accessed a data center, jump station. Evaded EDR because the EDR agent wasn't installed on the jump station, couldn't be installed on the jump station. SIM didn't alert on this. We alerted HTS in tunnel. On our console, low level, non-critical. All right, so we're following attacker activity. As the attacker progressed, they moved into cloud identity, activating cloud access server to Azure AD. CSPM was bypassed. Again, EDR was evaded. SIM didn't alert. I'm going to put my glasses on. Vectra detected a port scan, port sweep, suspicious LDAP, RPC recon. Also detected suspicious remote execution. The attack continued to progress. It did poorly. They had the scores up. Attacker then at 654 pivots to SaaS, addresses M365, steals a map to the cloud, and they store all of their IP in AWS. Vectra once again detects a number of different things happening. Suspicious remote sign-on, et cetera, et cetera. The attack gets prioritized or is even more critical. So as the attacker is progressing and we're detecting different activities, we're correlating it together in terms of this is an attack on a specific entity, this is an attack on a specific account. Ultimately at 754, they pivot to public cloud. It looked like they were gaining access to AWS. Here's where we raise the red flag. This is a highly critical attack in progress, focused how the analysts focus on in this entity. So in this attack progression, in this example of a hybrid attack, a number of detections were triggered. A number of attacker activities took place over the course of different attack surfaces. We correlated them in the background, and we literally raised 3 alerts to the analyst. We scored it at 40, 60, 100, or 80, 90, 100. So as the attacker progresses, as we correlate these activities, the score, the criticality score gets higher and higher, all in the background. So that's what the power of integrated signal does. Now, finding that signal in data has been in our DNA. We, at the core, Vectra is AI-driven. Our innovation is rooted in using AI to find attacker signal inside of data. We do security research, domain-specific security research, to understand and define the problem that needs to be solved. We go out and collect the right data, not all the data. It's what data do we need to solve this problem? It's this domain-specific problem, cloud, identity, network, you name it. We build AI models, custom developed for each type of attack based on our research. We run the real-time analytics in our cloud, and then we have the beauty of this automated feedback loop. this has given us the ability to patent it, have the 12 MITRE references, and create this network effect where over 1,000 customers, and what's happening in those customer environments is actually feeding our intelligence. It's actually feeding our security research, our data science, our engineering, our platform. We call this attack signal intelligence. Cross-domain, hybrid, multi-cloud attack signal intelligence. Integrated signal at speed and scale. And we deliver this through what we announced yesterday, our new Vectra AI Platform. We call this the 3 Cs. Coverage, first of all, do we provide the visibility, the integrated visibility across these attack surfaces? Identity, public cloud, SaaS, data center network, endpoint of your choice. At the core is clarity. This is where integrated attack signal intelligence comes into play. Attacker behavior analytics that thinks like an attacker, understands what attackers do to not only infiltrate but progress and move laterally inside an organization. We know what's malicious. We use ML and AI to distinguish between what is benign and what is malicious activity. I can go into a ton of detail about that if you have any questions after the fact. And then our AI prioritization model, what I showed you in that attack example, is about enabling the SOC analyst to focus on what is urgent inside their organization, specific to their organization. And we don't stop there. Obviously, the third C is control. And this is about delivering integrated, automated, co-managed response. We have investigations in our platform where all of the threat and attacker context is available at the analyst's fingertips. Automated, flexible, targeted response actions. This is where partners like Swimlane come into play. And then our, of course, shared responsibility model with our MDR services. So this is, in a nutshell, the power of integrated signal and how we're delivering it via the integrated Vectra AI platform. So we contend the solution to this problem is to break the spiral and arm human intelligence. Vectra arms them with the intelligent, integrated, real-time signal that is attack signal intelligence. Swimlane arms them with the automated response capabilities. I was censored there for a second for some reason. And Swimlane provides that automated response capabilities. At the end of the day, integrated signal, what does that mean for all of you? Integrated signal across your attack surfaces. Integrated signal that prioritizes attacks in real time. Well, it's about unifying attack surface visibility. It's about consolidating those threat signals, triaging for what's relevant to your organization, correlating for what's important, prioritizing based on urgency and impact to your organization, contextualizing for investigation, providing all the answers, the metadata, the deep information an analyst needs to investigate an attack in progress, and then enabling them to take the right action at the right time. That enablement in terms of taking the right action is where our partner Swimlane comes into play. And their value prop in terms of like integrating siloed tools, consolidating telemetry, simplifying playbook development, unifying those workflows, improving that mean time to respond. And then obviously a continuous feedback loop as well. How do you share those insights inside the organization? How do you continue to improve how your SOC is taking intelligent signal, taking intelligent action on that signal, and reducing mean time to investigate and respond. And with that, I want to thank everybody for your time and see if there's any questions.